things on the road. You guys ready?
Yes.
Let's give it a countdown, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, we start off in tutorial land, one of my least favorite levels overall, because this level is actually one of the run killers, even though it's the tutorial level. I don't like this level. It seems very basic, just your average platformer. Jump, punch, you have a Mario jump.
Yeah, there is, despite this seemingly being a very straightforward platforming segment, the controls are really finicky. And this part especially
hitboxes are really bad, and these platforms can just...
Yeah, no,
like that.
Yeah, that's how you just... That's basically a reset point right at the start of the game.
Hitboxes on the tiny clouds are super iffy. On the bigger, they're doable, although still iffy, but doable iffy.
Yeah, the bigger point here is mostly just that hitboxes are weird in this game, and you'll notice that a lot as we go along. But yeah, level 2, pretty straightforward. We're just gonna climb a tree.
Sandy's tree. Everyone knows Sandy's tree. I'm gonna have to not dehydrate, but seeing as I run it pretty quickly, there's no need to worry actually about dehydration. Here we're gonna super boost, if I can get it. There. No, if you press A at the right time on the little jump pad, you jump twice as high.
Yeah, it's a near frame perfect jump,
Yeah.
so it's a pretty tight window to get that. And I remember when we started running this, we kind of struggled with that a little bit.
I knew they existed, that was the only reason we tried them. We didn't actually get one in either of our first runs, so we just kind of ignored them, but we did lose like a couple of minutes on trying to get them.
Yeah, it was quite the struggle. Yeah, third level, just these fish hooks that we have to jump across. The general idea of the game is every world consists of 4 levels, and at the end of every 4th level there's a boss we need to fight. I believe it's 4 worlds total? 5 worlds total.
You have one, or you have the normal world, or the first 2, the introduction worlds, with like the second stupidest boss in the game.
Yeah, it's a really dumb boss, but
It's the only one where you have to use a kind of weapon, and it's depends on like when it decides to spawn. It's like one of the few bits of like heavy RNG in the game.
yeah, all in all, this game doesn't have a lot of RNG except for like a few bosses and some spawns here and there maybe, but I believe everything is pretty much cycle based. So as long as you stay on the cycle, you're completely fine.
Yeah, most of this is just running straight forward and not like doing a Mario jump on a truck.
Yeah, jumping on trucks is generally not a great way of getting past this kind of stuff.
I also wouldn't advise it in real life. I don't think
jumping on a truck might not be the smartest of ideas.
Well,
here.
on a normal one, when it's not moving, maybe, but when it's moving...
Well, even then. So yeah, here we pick up the net, and the net is one of the other weapons that you get to use. There's a few other mechanics that we don't generally use because most of them are just really slow. The idea of the net is you can catch jellyfish, and then we have to use those jellyfish to throw them at the other jellyfish. It's like jellyfish-ception right here.
He's immune to your normal punches. And
yeah, you can't defeat him in any other way than using the jellyfish. And it's also like the first kind of instance of actual RNG, in that all of these jellyfish kind of spawn randomly. And
well, you control where they spawn, but the big jelly can just wait a few, like up to 10 seconds, I believe, for a spawn, or for the total 3 spawn. So it can either do them immediately in under a second, all 3, or you can have to wait 10 seconds to get all 3 of them.
So here you saw that, you know, the last one actually took a few seconds before it actually started to appear. That's just one way that you can very quickly lose time. You also probably noticed that as we're going, she actually tried to either stay in the jelly when attacking, or at least very close to it. You kind of damage boost through it. There is that hamburger at the end, the Krabby Patty anyway. So yeah, that's the first of the 5 worlds done. On to the second one. This is, I believe, mostly lava levels, isn't it?
This is the underground, yes. It's like the last level was lava levels, and I think the second one has some of them. But it's just underground. I am failing the super easy jump for some apparent reason. You do a lot of spike boosts in this level, and there's like one lava boost coming up into another level, which apparently people at BSG find interesting. But
yeah,
just...
lava boosts are kind of a thing around here, but right now we're going to start with spike boosts. You want to avoid that blower thing right over there, because we're just going to damage boost through the enemies. There's a way to heal your health at the end anyway.
Also, you only get like your punch ability is tied to the net, so if you don't have the net or have nothing, then you cannot actually punch stuff, and it's kind of one of the only two viable ways of killing stuff.
Yeah, that's in general, it's just one of those things where you don't want to pick them up because they lose so much time if you do. This is just a lot of spike boosting that we do here. The invincibility frames are long enough that you can get through the entire set of spikes, get hit, or like you fall onto the spikes, you get the invincibility frames, and when you hit the spikes again, you're still in the invincibility frames, hitting the boost again.
Invincibility frames in this game last until you hit the ground, like normal ground. So if you hit spikes again, then you're still invincible. I should have not jumped there. Now we have to wait for this platform because it was a little bit too late because I messed up. If you do this level frame perfect, you don't have to wait for platforms. If you mess up one time, you have to wait for each cycle.
Yeah, so this is one of those cases of all of these platforms kind of being on global cycles and it just wasting a lot of time if you miss one.
This is like, the level itself isn't like that bad to do, but if you mess up on it, you do in the early part, you feel it really hard in the later parts because, again, I have to wait for the cycle.
Yeah, and then missing another cycle here makes that even more annoying.
Okay, now this jelly you can hit on like 3 or 4 frames, otherwise you cannot actually make that jump, and it's really annoying. It's just barely close enough that you can make it, but...
Yeah, so it just goes to show that messing up in this part, it just loses a ton of time, just because of all the cycles now being off. It's just a really annoying way to go, because it happens, and it's something, you know, on occasion you just have to deal with it, but it can just... one small mistake kind of snowballs into massive
There's our only
time
lava
losses.
boost, our only forced lava boost, by the way.
So there's the lava boost.
And we have to wait for the cycle
And again, because the thing is off, the entire cycle is off, and we have to redo it here. But we got to the end of the level anyway. A bit slower than you'd like to, but it worked out in the end.
I think actually, like, one thing that I do want to mention before this run is like completely finished, I want story time. I'm gonna tell you what your actual goal is in this game. Why is SpongeBob going through all this trouble for seemingly no reason? It's actually very simple. Patrick, his best friend, as anyone who watches the SpongeBob series, I not want to pick up that balloon. Patrick has a birthday party coming up, and I, of course, as SpongeBob, want to give him the best possible birthday present he has ever had. And I came up with getting him a signature of his favorite superheroes. The problem is, there's a lot of things wrong in the world, and I forgot their English names, but the superheroes don't want to just give me their autograph.
Also, there were 2 more lava boosts there just for reference.
Normally I skip those,
where
okay?
Where's Indy at? Andy ran away, he missed the lava boost. I mean, I know he's gonna donate €1 for every lava boost in SM64. I was hoping we could add these, but
you mean I actually got an accidental lava boost just to drain Indy's wallet? I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Indy isn't here, so, you know, it's probably not gonna happen, but... So yeah, this is probably the first time you run this. one of the worst levels in the game.
If you're colorblind, just don't run this game for this little part here. You have to wait for all the pixels of the flames to end, and you can barely see the flame because it's super bright background.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, as long as one pixel is still on the screen, the entire hitbox is still there. And if you fall into the lava, you just instantly die. So this is a fairly straightforward boss. He attacks, I believe, 3 times and then does a different attack. He's either going to go shoot these torpedoes.
The first one's torpedoes from below. Second one is barrels from top, and the third one is mixed. But you shouldn't be. If you get to the third one, you messed up because this boss takes exactly 7 hits, and he does and you can hit him 3 times per cycle. So you need 3 cycles and 1 hit at the very fastest possible.
So yeah, there you go. Easy boss fight. It's one of the easier fights in the game, in that sense. Even though getting to the boss itself is a pain. So on to World 3, and I think World 3. It's always felt like a bit of an easier world to me, at least. There is the blaster for like the bubbles, but we're just gonna skip that because it's slow.
There are a lot of Mario jumps in this one. It's the quickest form of combat if those like little jelly things aren't in an attack move. Otherwise punching is faster, but...
So the thing with these platforms here is, you might have noticed, like, they seem a little bit on the high end. Like, at least a little bit higher than before. You're kind of supposed to use your bubbles, because you can actually step onto the bubble.
Wrong level.
Oh, it's on the next...
This one shoots bubbles to damage people.
Oh, wait, that's...
There's a later level, I believe in this group as well, where you can use bubbles as platform.
Oh, I am getting my levels mixed up. My apologies.
This is the bubble cannon, and the other one is the little bubble toy thing.
Oh, right, yeah. It's been a good while since I last ran this. But regardless, it still takes away your attacks, so, you know, kind of want to avoid that.
I messed up that jump. The Mario jumps, especially when your opponent is on a slightly, or the enemy thing is on a slightly higher ground, are very precise, because if you land too fast, you actually slow down your movement afterwards. Like, you have to stand still afterwards for a little bit.
Oh, that's this one. Right.
Here's the bubbles. The bubble platforms.
Yeah, here you're supposed to use that as platforms in order to be actually able to get up certain platforms. So yeah, I figured, you know, since we're playing some Spongebob, and this is the meme block after all. Yeah. You know, we saw the Spongebob being a thing. We actually raced this initially. We kind of wanted to run or race each other in blind in a game, you know, just to try it out, and we ended up with this as a beautiful little meme game. So
ooh, I forgot there. You can jump that actually slightly faster. It says 4 seconds, I believe, if you put a bubble on the top there, but I fell down because I wasn't paying attention. Happens a lot in this game for some reason.
there's a lot of little things like that. But yeah, we found like Spongebob, and we were like, yeah, this is a fun little meme game to do, and well, it makes for a good addition to the meme block, I suppose.
By the way, we're currently in the stomach of a whale. So if anyone has ever wondered what the stomach of a whale looks like, this is it. Lots of worms, lots of fish, and a lot of stomach acid, I believe.
Yeah, and a lot of whatever the white stuff is supposed to be. And trees as well, I think. Because there's other things.
I think those might just be like nerves or something, like fish bones.
Yeah,
weird
they still look very weird. Anyway, we're coming up on the next boss, which
it's a douche.
Yeah, he is a troll. It's basically a giant worm that gets faster each time you hit him.
The problem with him is he can like his vertical attacks are sometimes really difficult to hit, especially when he gets faster. If he does horizontal attacks, like he's supposed to be an easy boss, but if he does a lot of vertical stuff, he's a lot more difficult.
So yeah, that's one of those vertical attacks, and that's where things just get really, really hard. So you want to kind of try and manipulate him in such a way that you'll get horizontal attacks, but you can't always actually do that.
There.
Okay, one more hit.
You can do like
There
jump.
we go.
You can, if you jump and during your fall you punch. If you like during your fall you punch, you have a lot bigger of an attack hitbox, so it's a lot easier to hit him when he goes super fast. There's like that's the only boss you really use it on, but I'm really glad that I found that one. Because if he goes super fast into a vertical attack loop, you might just lose your run there.
Yeah, because I believe if you fall down that that hole that he came from, you actually just flat out die.
Yes, or if you die, you have to do the entire level again, regardless of taking damage or falling into.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways that a run can die on that boss.
If you instantly die when you fall down that hole and you're inside the stomach of a whale, what is that hole?
That's a very good question, actually. I don't know if I want to know the answer to that, but
I have a slight feeling I do know, and I don't know if I want to know if I'm right.
yeah, let's not go in on that one, shall we? So yeah, here this world we just have to collect the sand coins. There's 4 sand coins, and I believe it's the Flying Dutchman at the end.
Yes.
So you know, shout outs to my boy Mitch in the back, our real life BSG pirate. But yeah, all in all, World 4 is fairly straightforward. There's some tricky stuff coming up, especially that first level. You kind of have to notice you have to go down, even though you can't really see all the
and
platforms.
the first one is not that bad. In the fourth one, there's
the fourth one is a lot worse.
In the first one, all your paths are blocked with like spike bombs, where you just can't go through. In the last one, there's nothing. So if you miss a jump, you just fall to your death. There's no safety net like in the first level.
Yeah, very true. So especially the 4th level, it'll be coming up very soon. That's probably the level I died in the most when I started this. And
if we go by dying the most, this is definitely mine. Like, there's one little part I had such a difficult time learning it because it's very easy to mess up on it, and it's very punishing if you do, because there's no ground underneath you, and if you get hit by the wrong thing at the wrong time, you just fall into the void. That's right here. The first one is easy.
Yeah,
the second one you have to wait for zombie fish, and then you have to kill the zombie fish. This zombie fish. The third one is normal, and then you have to get hit by that starfish so you can jump over the octopus. So you can do that normally.
That part has lost us a lot of time back then. It's definitely a tough one. So now for the fourth for 4-4, it's time for the final coin, and this one has a lot of just jumping into nothingness.
You have to know where to jump.
Yeah, this is really like this level can get sped up a lot if you just know where to jump.
Yes,
because you can just skip like 20% of the level or something.
Especially seeing as there's a new little strat that probably existed for the longest time on the PlayStation version. And that's normally you go down and instead of up here, because you couldn't get past this little starfish. You would take the lower path instead of the upper path. But we found a way to get past the starfish like that we'll see soon, and it's because we get hit by that octopus, so we just try to fall through him.
Oh, that's a neat little strat. I didn't even know that existed yet.
I haven't done the exact timing on it, but just by feeling, it's a lot, or well, not a lot faster, but it saves maybe 1 or 2 seconds.
So yeah, this is the Flying Dutchman. Fairly easy boss fight.
He has 2 cycles. One is he spawns in and then spawns fireballs. Does this 4 times. You can just hit him before he actually does stuff, and then he starts dashing at you. Most of his positions to dash are not in the screen, so you don't know where you have to stand.
So there you had an example of him being off screen as he charged towards you. So you have to react really, really quickly in where he's at.
He also just immediately disappears on that one if you miss. Oh, I missed that one. So yeah.
So there we go. That's the 4th boss of the game done. On to the final world.
On that note, like they're almost all bosses that have like cycles. The very first one, the Flying Dutchman. They all require like a certain amount of cycles plus 1 attack if you do it perfectly. They always want you to do 1 more than just the perfect amount of, or than within cycles. Like the jellyfish requires, I believe, 16, and you get 3 jellyfish at a time, so you need 5 cycles plus 1. The Flying Dutchman you can do within the first like 3 cycles, but you need after that 1 more, and I hate this part. It's like level 1 all over again.
Yeah, this level I think is pretty much based off of level 1 in many ways, but then just with the oil feeling to it, as if somebody's been drilling oil in the area. And this level is just awful.
You have to jump on that one just straight up instead of moving immediately, because otherwise you get hit by him respawning on the same area, and then you fall into the void, and you have to do it again.
So 5-2 is, I believe, pretty much the calm before the storm. 5-3 is probably one of the most unforgiving levels, and 5-2 wasn't, or it's a lot more straightforward, at least if I remember correctly.
There's a lot of those little Mario jumps in there that you have to be very precise on your timing, otherwise you have to wait. And I'm not that confident in my ability to do those. I've been pulling them off pretty well, but heck, it's a marathon. I'm gonna try and show off in my meme run, because meme runs.
So yeah, like I said, like even though there's a lot of enemies, it's a pretty straightforward level. Oil rig, however,
It's
everybody's
favorite level.
It's so bad. The problem with this level, in big part, is
No,
there are no checkpoints anywhere. There is a skip we can do.
I'm not getting my skip.
It's a pretty precise trick here. There we go. You can basically clip through that. That's a really difficult trick.
The concept in this level is platforms are not walls and walls are not platforms. So if you on that specific spot, there's a little, like a few pixels where there is a or the platform I can't speak today. You have to where it's platform instead of wall, so you can just walk through it, because you can walk through the platforms, but you cannot walk through walls. If that makes any sense at all, it probably didn't, but who cares?
So yeah, this is, as I said, this is a pretty unforgiving level. Luckily, there's a hamburger right there, because, like I said, if you die, you get set back to the start of the level. There's no checkpoints.
Final jump. Now we just have to wait for this platform, and we're done.
No checkpoints anywhere, so it's pretty hard.
You just damage boost your way through it, but if you miss one of your timings on your damage boosts, then you do not have enough health. Like, I ended there with 20 health, which is the normal, so you can do it with 30 as well, but...
So yeah, onto the oil ship, and this is the final of the game. I believe time is as we hit the final hit on the last boss.
As Spongebob does his thumbs up after this.
Oh, right, yeah, the thumbs up, that's it. So yeah, why a oil ship would have, you know, all that...
Giant saw blades that murder stuff in the floor.
Yeah, all the saw blades and whatnot, I have no idea, but apparently an oil ship has that sort of stuff.
Also, they're very bad with their loot, because, like, crates are falling from the ceiling. I don't think I should call it looting. This is an oil ship and not a pirate ship, but hey, Midge is behind me, so
So yeah, you may have noticed he actually skipped the burger at the end there. I don't think if you actually need it,
No, you don't.
you shouldn't, but it's still a nice safety to have in case things
It's my
go bad.
safety net. My not so needed, but much needed safety net. Ow.
So yeah, this is the final boss, so we're coming up on time here. So yeah, this
One
guy
more.
basically...
And time.
So yeah, that boss basically just, he throws those rocks and then charges at you, something like that. And, well, that is Spongebob SquarePants Super Sponge.
We got Patrick's autograph, so yay.
And I believe we're gonna go to Dora the Explorer next.
Yes.
So let's go get that set up and enjoy the rest of the meme block.